Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Tolu, and on this channel I share content all around personal finance, budgeting, frugal living, and I show you how to live your best life on a budget. In today's video, guys, what I'm going to be doing is bringing you an interview that I did with a lady named Krystle McGilvery over on her Instagram page, Money Mondays. So we sat down on Thursday evening and we had a conversation all around my debt story. I talked all about how I was able to pay off £36,000 worth of debt. Now, I know I shared this story on my channel already when I started my channel, nearly a year ago now, but obviously for many of you that are new subscribers, you may not have even seen that video or heard my story. So this is your opportunity to hear my story, find out how I got to where I am today and what my journey's been so far. So it was a really good conversation. Krystle was an amazing interviewer. You can definitely check her page out. I'm going to link it in the description box below so that you can find out more about Money Mondays, because she's another finance coach like myself and she says loads of content all around personal finance too. So definitely you want to check her out. So the next clip you're going to see is the interview that I did with Krystle. So yeah, stay tuned really and listen to the conversation.
Here she is.
Hey Krystle, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Just my camera, let me not expose all the mess in the side.
Right in the room.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. If you hear any background noise, it's my little one. My husband's putting him to bed, so yeah.
That's fine. It's that time. You had a good
It
day?
is. Yeah, it's been a really good day actually. Yeah, I had a few coaching calls today, so that was really good. So yeah, it's been good.
Yes, we'll get onto that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I keep forgetting. Please introduce yourself. Tell people who you are, what you do.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Tolu Frimpong. I'm a money coach. So what I do is I work with people one-on-one on budgeting, paying off their debt, and getting their financial goals and plans in place. So basically just coming alongside them, seeing where they are, where they want to get to, and how I can help them get there. So that's one thing that I do. And then I also have a YouTube channel where I share loads of content all around personal finance, budgeting and frugal living. And then I also have a blog where I share all of that content too. And I really started all of this a couple of years ago when I wanted to really document my FIRE journey. So I want to pursue financial independence, retire early is what FIRE stands for, in case anyone doesn't know. And that's the journey that we're currently on. And as I've been on that journey, documenting it and sharing it, the money coaching kind of became a byproduct of that, because as I'm sharing what I've learned along the way, people are like, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I've been coaching anyway, not realizing that's what I was doing. Whereas literally a month ago, I was just like, okay, now I'm actually going to do this as a proper service. And that's what I've been doing for the past month or so. And so far, it's been going really well.
Of course. And do you have a full-time job as well? Is this your side thing or is this your main
No.
thing?
So I was made redundant this year in June after 10 years with my employer. Yeah. So yeah, COVID affected me in that way. Lost my job.
What was you working as?
I worked in marketing, so I'd done that for 10 years, travel marketing, working in retention marketing, and that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. And then I was on maternity leave, and I was due to return to work back in March, and I got furloughed, and they furloughed me up until the end of June, and then they made me redundant.
Wow, so you've been focusing on the finance stuff since then?
Exactly, yeah. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and the timing of it was just perfect, because if they didn't push me out, I probably would have ended up going back. Even though I had said to myself I was going to leave, I know I would have ended up staying, because that's what I've done after every other one of my children. Like after every maternity leave, I'm like, I'm not going back. But then I end up going back. And now this time the decision was taken out of my hands. So it's like, okay, Tolu, what are you going to do now? So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to back myself. And that's what I've been doing.
And everything does happen for a reason. Same here. Like I was working 9 to 5 as a finance professional. And I think, what did I do? I left in 18 October, went traveling for a year and a half, came back at the beginning of this year, looked for a job. And I went on like, I think about 16 job interviews, didn't get any of them.
Oh, wow.
Which is like not me. Usually I have 2 interviews and I get both offers. Not tooting my own horn, but that's just how it's been.
Yeah.
For me not to get any of those jobs, I'm like, and in the back of my mind, like the whole time I was traveling, I was like, I want to do this finance thing. I want to do this finance thing. So that was like a direct, like, do it, Krystle.
That's a sign.
We're not going to give you a job.
Yeah, exactly. No, seriously, the decision gets taken out of your hands. So it's like, you just have to do that thing.
It's like, you're not seeing the sign? Okay, darling, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's actually what happened, yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's take it right back.
Okay.
So
how far back do you want to go?
So Actually, let me start right at the beginning, because I do want to dig into kind of your upbringing and money. How was it in your household? What was money like? Was it talked about? Was it a strain? Was you guys comfortable as a family, as in parents and stuff?
No, so growing up, money was always, tight. It was always tight. So I didn't realize how tight it was until it came to things like school trips. And it's like they're going international to France. It's like I didn't even bother showing my parents a letter because I knew I wasn't going because there was no money to pay for that trip. So that's kind of how it was. In terms of having food to eat, like we always had food to eat every day. So there was never a day where we thought we weren't going to eat. But things like birthdays and Christmas presents, you know, now the kids get like 10, 20 presents. We'll be lucky if we've got one to share between the four of us. That's how it was growing up. So money was definitely tight in our household, and that was usually the point of contention with my parents. It was always something to do with money. So that was definitely a big thing in my household growing up. So money was always hard to come by. Money was always tight in our household, and money was that thing that we needed and we never had enough of, and it was just always stressful.
And did your parents talk to you about money?
Other than let me give them their dues actually. So my parents, when I got my first job, so I remember when I first got my first job at 16, because as soon as I got my national insurance, I was like, I need to work because I need money to pay for all these things because my parents, they weren't giving me much money. Okay, cool. So then so I got my first job at 16 and they told me that your first paycheck apparently belongs to your parents. That's some Nigerian culture thing. So they told me that I had to give them all my money, which was fine. I had to do that for the first paycheck. And they said after that, you need to make sure you save half of your pay every month. But I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. I didn't do that because to me, I'm like, why do I need to save? What am I saving for? I have all this money that I've never seen before in my life, all these things that I want to buy, that I can finally afford to buy. Why would I want to save it? So
for no reason, no.
Exactly. So they did tell me that I should save money, but there was no really big explanation as to why.
Okay. So you guys didn't really talk about money. They gave you good insight, as in save half, but there wasn't enough to really explain to you what you're doing. Okay, so let's fast forward to adulthood.
Cool.
What happened? Because then that leads into us talking about your 36K debt and clearing it. So what was your life before you got to that point?
Okay, so 16 to 18, I was working. All the money I was making, I was spending. I was living my best life back then. Like no responsibility. So all the money I was getting was mine to do as I pleased. So I was doing that for couple of years, turned 18, went off to Birmingham to go university. So now I'm away from my parents, and all of a sudden I have financial responsibilities that I've never had before. So now I have to pay for my accommodation, I have to pay for my food, I have to pay for my shop, I have to pay for everything. So my student loan, I've managed that well enough-ish, but Freshers Week, actually, that's where I first learned about debt. So before that, I didn't even know that was a thing. And Freshers Week, you go to Freshers Fair, and you have all the banks there, and they're all like, yeah, come, sign up, come sign up. So they're all trying to recruit us to their stores so you can sign up, and then you get free money. That's what I was hearing anyway, when they were talking to me. So they were just telling me about...
Which bank did you go with?
HSBC.
Okay, I did Barclays.
Okay, no, I think Barclays actually had the better account, but I don't know. I think HSBC had the better suites at their stand, so that's how they got me.
Yeah.
That's literally what was the deciding factor for me. Forget what the interest is and everything. It's just like, oh yeah, free food, I'll take it. So I was signed up with HSBC. I got the overdraft. I got the so they gave me an overdraft and they gave me a credit card as well. And so I'm paying free money that I don't have to pay until I finish uni. So I'm like, okay, fine. So this money that I didn't need, all of a sudden it's there. So now when I'm seeing my current account, I'm seeing my balance, I have all these extra thousands in my account. I'm like, I'm rich.
I like it. Yeah.
So that's where I first got into debt, I guess you can say. But even at that time, it wasn't anything major. It was obviously my overdraft, which at the time was $750 to $1,000, something around that mark. Yeah. And then I had the credit card, which was like just under $1,000 as well. So those were the debts that I had, and I took that all the way through university until I graduated. And then when I got my first postgrad job, that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, when I got my first job after I finished uni, I was like, no, I need to pay off these debts, because going back to my childhood and stuff, I saw the impact that debt had on my family and all of that stuff. So I knew that it was bad, and I knew I shouldn't be in debt. So I was like, okay, cool, let me pay this off. So within my first year of getting my first graduate job, I cleared off all my loans, not my loans, my overdraft and the credit card. So I wasn't in any more debt. So I was like debt free for a few years. And so that's my money story after university.
Okay, and then how did you get to the point of having £36,000 of debt? And what made you get to the point of actually, wow, I've got this debt, I need to tackle it? Like, what was the life situation?
Okay, oh gosh, I'm going to tell you my life story. This is like an episode of This Is Your Life. No, okay, so let's go back. So finished uni, and then was doing my thing for a few years, met my husband, we started dating, we got married. When we got married at the time, he had, I think, an overdraft. So even then, between the two of us, we didn't really have any debt. We had a cheap wedding. Back then, our wedding was on a budget. There was no wedding payment plan or anything like that back then. It was like, no, you'd be really proud. We had a spreadsheet and everything. My husband's always been so good with the numbers. So he's like, no, this is the budget for the wedding and this is all we're spending. So yeah, when we first got married, we were really good. So we didn't go into any debt. But then equally, we weren't really saving because all our expenses pretty much was our income at the time. So we were renting privately. We had car payments that we still had to pay for, bills, utilities, food. Basically, we were just living beyond our means. Or not even beyond, actually, that's a lie. At that time, we were living at our means. So all the money we had coming in, we were spending it all. So we were literally maxed out. Maybe we'd save like a couple of hundred every month, but even that we and then spend it on something else. So it was that savings that you dip in and out of. That's what we were kind of doing for a while. So fast forward now, a couple of years into marriage, we've been renting privately and not really getting ahead with our savings or anything like that. And I remember at that time, my husband and I started watching all these property programs and all of that. So it's like, oh, he wants to get into property development. Like this is going to be his way to be rich, because he went Rich Dad Poor Dad at that time as well. It was like, that's what I want to do. I want to get rich. I want to get rich. I'm going to do this property and become a property tycoon. Like that's what his plan was. Okay, come. So that's what he had intended to do. So I'm like, okay, but at the moment, the money we have is not really going to reach this goal.
You can't do that,
So initially, he was the one that suggested. This is part of the story. Yeah, he's going to be so happy I'm finally admitting it, because I don't remember him actually saying this. But when I was speaking to my friend about it, she's like, no, it was Isaac that said that to you. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll tell you this part. So he suggested that we move back in with his parents to save up money to buy the house. And I was like, I'm not moving in with your parents. Allow it. Like, that's not happening.
Yeah.
So fast forward now, a few weeks later, I went to go to see my friend, and we're having a conversation, and we're talking about the fact that we want to get on the property ladder, but we don't have enough disposable income to save up to buy one, etc., etc. So then she was like, why don't you move in with your in-laws? And I was like, oh, that's actually a great idea.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Well, you've admitted it now. You've said that.
I have. He's going to be so happy. Like, finally, she's admitted the truth. I genuinely don't remember him saying that, but apparently he did. So, fine.
Like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, so I literally blocked it out. So, yeah, so he said, let's move back in with my in-laws, but let's move in with our parents. So when I went back home and told him, he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And within a month of us having that conversation, we were back in his parents' house. Yeah, so that's what we did. Packed up our little flat, moved all our belongings to share a room in his mum and dad's house. So we did that the plan was to do it for a year, save up the deposit and move out. It ended up taking us 2 years to save up the deposit that we needed to buy the place. And everything was going fine. We've got our deposit saved, we've got our stamp duty saved, we've got the mortgage broke, all the expenses that that go with buying a house. We had it all covered. So we're like, yeah, we're ready to buy this house. Okay, so I'll slow down. I talk really fast, so I hope you're not with me. Yeah. It's the excitement. Okay, so we saved up all the money to buy the house and everything was fine. And then 2015 was when we put in the offer to buy the house, and everything was accepted and everything had gone through. But then in 2016 is when we finally did the exchange. So in that year, there was a lot of drama, and the person selling it, there was a lot of delays on their side as it happened. Yeah, exactly. So eventually we got the keys. When we got the keys to the house was a mess. Like, they had trashed the whole place. It was a joke. Like, it just was inhabitable. Is that a word? Yeah, you couldn't live there. You couldn't live there. So yeah, so basically they trashed the place. We couldn't live there. Fine. So fast forward now, we're like, okay, we've got this new house. We've got the money for the surveyors, etc., etc. We don't have money to do this place up. So that's where the loan started. So we're like, okay, let's take out a loan from the bank. We're going to take out this loan, use it to refurbish the house. Then we're going to remortgage the house in a few months, take that money out and pay off the loans. And then we're also going to get lodgers to live with us. Those lodgers are going to give us extra income, which we can then use to pay off the loan as well. And we can use that to save money to get the second property. So we had this plan, and it made sense. On paper it made sense, but in reality that's not what happened. Basically, things kind of just went left real quick. So we weren't able to get lodgers. Nobody wanted to live with me and my pregnant self and the baby on the way.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we factored that into the equation, unfortunately. So yeah, nobody really wanted to live with us. And then the house didn't go up in value the way we thought it would after the work was done on the property. So we had tried to make it go from a 2 to a 3-bedroom property, but it was still considered a 2. So it didn't go up in value enough, which meant the equity wasn't enough to pull out money to pay off the loans. And then aside from that, at the time when we took out those loans, we just went crazy with spending. So on top of paying for the refurbishments, we went on holiday as well that same year, because we had to go on holiday because my brother was getting married and we had to go to his engagement do. We didn't really, but at the time we justified it. Put out the credit card. And then shopping, obviously you need new clothes for that holiday. So that went on the credit card too.
It just sounds like a bit of
outfits for the holiday, so it just spiraled out of control. Exactly. So it just spiraled out of control to the point that we were like, okay, this is a mess now. Like we were in so much debt, and our income just, because obviously we had planned for this £900 from these 2 tablets that we were going to get, which didn't materialize. So now we're £900 down. Plus we have all these debts, and it just was a mess. It was a big mess. So yeah, we were drowning in debt. Yeah. So pardon?
So, yeah, no, I said, of course, it sounds like it. It sounds like a bit of a mess. And then I guess one day you guys were like, we need to focus purely on tackling this.
Exactly. So it got to the point where it's like mortgage payments were being made late or not being made. So it's like, okay, we've done all of this. We've built this whole, we're trying to build something for our family. We put all our life savings into this property, and now we're running the risk of losing it. So at that time, we were like, no, we need to sort this out. And at that time, from the outside looking in, you would never know what we were going through. Because the same way I look now, that's how I looked then. You just wouldn't know.
That's what we do. In our culture, we keep the outside, we make sure we look strong. We don't
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we were doing at that time. It was just a horrible time. Everything was a mess. And we're like, okay, something needs to give. And I just have to say it was a godsend that my husband came across Dave Ramsey at the time. So he came across a whole Total Money Makeover book. And when he read it, he told me about it. I read it too. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is what we need. This is going to be the answer to all our problems. So we literally...
What does your partner do? Because he seems quite savvy.
He's a gas engineer, so he does boilers and heating and things like that.
Yeah, and he seems quite creative. You know, he found Dave Ramsey and he read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he's bringing it to you. He's like, Tolu, come on, look.
Yeah. No, he is actually, funny you say that. On the other side, he is actually an artist as well. So yeah, he is creative. He's into animation and stuff. That's his new thing that he's doing on the side as well.
Nice. It's nice because I think it really helps, especially when I talk to lots of people, I work with people whose partner is not the same. So that's like the biggest challenge, getting them on board, getting them on. But they have, if you're, you know, in a joint household, you're sharing finances, you have to have them both,
yes,
you know, in this, or one has to take complete control of everything and do as they say, get their little payment every month, which just puts more burden on the one person. So it's nice to know that husbands in
100%. It makes such a big difference. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without him and vice versa. So yeah, it makes a big difference when it's a team effort. But yeah, like what you said is the advice I give to people as well. If only one of you is on board, just do what you can. And then hopefully as they see your example, they too will come on board eventually. Because yeah, you can't drag someone kicking and screaming to do it your way. It's not going to work. It's going to push them further away if anything.
So then I think now is the crux. So I think this is what lots of people are keen to hear. How did you go about clearing your debt? What kind of things did you do or put in place to kind of get out of that hole and work towards being debt free?
Yeah, so for the first thing we had to do obviously is acknowledge there was a problem, which we did, and we was like, okay. So then we had to actually see what our situation was on paper, and that was a big eye-opener, because that 36,000, if you had told me that that's what it was, I would have said, nah, it's not that much. It's probably about 22, 23. Yeah. So that was mind-blowing when we saw the figures, when we wrote it all out. It's like, oh, wow, we actually messed up.
It's the biggest task, that part of when I say I work with people as well, when I get them to, okay, now we're going to uncover and just dig into everything. What is your situation right now? What's your debts, what's your saving, what's your everything? That's the most like, oh.
Yeah.
And that's the most painful, because it's like, it's only me. I'm responsible for getting here. So yeah, okay, you did that part first. Yeah.
So once we realized, okay, this is where we are. So it's like, okay, now we need to find ways to bring our expenses right down. So it was like, okay, because we had to create a budget first of all. Sorry, we created a budget, created the plan. So it was literally the zero-based budget method is what we use, and that's what I advocate for, because it really saved us so much. Because at the time we thought we didn't have enough money, but that wasn't reality. We was earning enough to pay off our debt, like to pay the debt amounts and have money to live. But because we didn't have a proper plan for our money, it was like the money was just disappearing. Yeah, we literally couldn't see, and we just thought we couldn't afford the payments. And it was like, okay, we actually put it on paper. It's like, oh, actually, we can actually pay more than we're paying towards these debts. And then on top of that, we then started looking at ways to even reduce our expenses further. So many things just got cut from that budget. We're living like paupers, you could say, but it had to be done. the biggest thing, one of our biggest expenses was going out, like going out with friends. So we go to church. So on Sunday, every Sunday without fail, we was out with people. So everyone goes out after church, and you spend £50 just like that. £50 every Sunday. That's what, £200 a month, just like that. That we're not even realizing that we spend it.
That's like one debt, I'm sure. Alone.
Exactly. So it was those realizations. So that, as well as food shopping. So our food shopping in terms of like groceries, we had to do a complete 180 on that. So before, I was doing Tesco online food shopping and just buying what I felt like I needed when I needed it. Whereas, I didn't have Tesco money anymore, so then I had to switch to Aldi. And so we switched to Aldi. And we haven't gone back. We still shop at Aldi now, and it's totally fine. And things like that, just finding ways to really reduce our expenses, and just really, we were able to free up so much money to put towards paying off the debt. And we used the debt snowball method. So we started with the smallest amount, and we were able to pay that within a couple of months, like literally 2-3 months. I think we paid off that debt, and we're like, wow, this thing that's been lingering for so long, how are we able to start paying it off? It just was mad. Like, yeah.
And what I like about the snowball method is the fact that you get those small wins really quickly. Like straight away you've hit something. It's like, wow, I've done it. Amazing. You feel good. Okay, let me do another one. And momentum. That's
exactly how it was. And because we were doing it together as a team, it was just like we were just railing each other up. Look, babe, we've done it. Like, and with my husband's job as well, he has his fixed income, but then he can do overtime. So he can make a lot of extra money by doing call out work and working private jobs and stuff. So he was making a lot more extra money. And because we had a goal in mind, and we had like, okay, this is what we're trying to pay off, he was just making much more money and just literally throwing it at the debt repayment.
And I just thought I'd just quickly explain to some people who are not familiar with the different debt clearing methods. Snowball method is where you pay off the smallest debt first, or you focus on paying that. So you pay minimum payments on the others, and you pay as much as you can for the smallest debt. Then that's cleared because you're paying so much more, and then you move on to the next smallest, and you just continue to snowball and build it up, and then clear your debts.
Yes, exactly.
And is there anything you did to kind of increase your income, or is there any other like finance savvy things you did to get more money in your pocket?
So I was selling stuff, so it's literally selling everything by the kids. But everything that I could sell around the house, I was literally selling so that I could make extra money that way. The hair thing I started doing like the last couple of years, actually, doing hair for people on the side. I was doing it unofficially, and I started doing it officially last year as well, so that was to make extra money. So everything I could just find to do, I was doing to make extra money. I started a blog as well because I was thinking that would help me make extra money. That blogging thing is amazing. It's not that easy to make money blogging.
It is hard. Yeah, I mean, it's easier, I'm sure, to be a writer and get paid for articles elsewhere, but yeah, doing your own blog is a bit of a job.
It's a big job. I'm still doing it. I enjoy doing it, so it's fine. But in terms of thinking you're going to get rich quick, blogging isn't it. But things like also survey sites, I even do them to this day, and I find them very, very beneficial. Everything helps.
Yeah, it does. It adds up, and especially when you've got debts to clear, that little bit makes a big difference. It affects the interest. You're paying your debt sooner.
Exactly.
It allows you to free up more money sooner. It's just, it's great.
No, 100%.
Okay, so let's talk about you now. So what's your life looking like now, especially since you've been made redundant? What's your focus, or what's your plans for the future?
Okay, so I'm in a good space, I can't even lie. Like, considering what's happened to me this year, like, I shouldn't be sitting here smiling, but I'm like, because we were able to pay off that debt a couple of years ago, and we've always lived below our means anyway, so we had budgeted to the point that we were living under my husband's salary alone. Like, so it was like, we didn't need my money, so that was extra money for us to put towards our mortgage repayments, etc. Whereas now it's like, okay, probably second income's not there anymore, so it's like now I need to focus on building that, because I was enjoying those moments when we were able to put so much on the mortgage. So that's why I'm really passionate now about building my side hustles so that I can start contributing more towards the mortgage overpayments and really accelerating our financial goals of investing. So our big goal is to be mortgage free by the time I'm 40. Yeah, so I don't have a long time to go, so I need to really like step it up in my hustling game. No, you'd be surprised. It's fast approaching. No, it's not fast approaching, to be fair. No, I'm still young. I'm still in my prime.
No, I'm thinking, yeah, you're not near 40 yet. Stop it.
No, I actually am, but thank you. I'll take that. I'll take that.
So it's a skin, darling. It's the melanin. So
it's the ring light. It's the ring light.
I need to get a better one. Okay, so what services are you offering right now? Where do you focus your efforts, or what are you focusing on to kind of generate that income? I'm sure YouTube is one.
Yes, so YouTube is one. Yeah, I finally got monetized. Oh my gosh, that took a whole year.
Congratulations, you're the second person who got monetized in the last like 2 months. This is great.
Oh, you did as well? Oh, yeah.
No, babe, I've got like hardly any followers. I need to.
Oh, it's hard, man. YouTube is hard. It's hard. It's hard.
I'm here juggling, like, I've got 3 businesses on the go and I'm trying to do this coaching. It's just too much. So
It's a lot. You have to prioritize one thing at a time. And that's something I'm learning the hard way, because with me, yeah, I just want to do everything. Like, I just literally want to do it all. But it's like, no, Tolly, you need to focus on one thing at a time, build that up, and then move on to the next. So in answer to your question, what I really want to do is focus on, especially going into 2021, it's the coaching. I really want to ramp that up and do a bit more with it. So at the moment, what I do is one-on-one coaching. So I do 1 hour sessions or free 1 hour sessions with people. So it's for 3 months. And that's one service I offer. But just as I've been doing it for the past month or so, I'm not a tycoon at this. But I have picked up a few things and I've learned that people do need more. So I'm only one person and there's only so much I can do with people. So what I really want to do is start a group coaching program as well. So have a group session where I can kind of reach more people at the same time. So then I'm kind of, what's the word, like not overstretching myself, or like not stretching myself too thinly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Amazing.
So yeah, so I definitely want to do that. That, and obviously YouTube, I'm going to keep doing it. At the moment, I'm doing my version of Vlogmas. It's like a money version of Vlogmas. So I'm trying to do a video a day in December. Mate, it's killing me, but...
You're amazing. Seriously, I saw that's what it was, because I didn't know what it was. I saw everyone posting, what is this thing? And then I saw you explain it, and I was like, well, I'd love to get involved, but nah.
It's too much. It's a lot. It's a big commitment. It's definitely a big commitment. But I'm just stripping everything else back. So Instagram, you're not going to see me posting as frequently on there this month, because I'm trying to create content for my channel. But equally that, and kind of working on the mastermind group that I want to do. So whatever it's called. Masterclass, that's it. Sorry.
Masterclass. So what is this, like a workshop or a webinar?
Yeah, so like exactly. So it'll be like a workshop thing. It's still in my head, so I need to get it on paper and get a plan for it. But the idea would be a group session where I work with a number of people on their debt journey. So kind of my 10 steps to debt freedom. That's what I call it. So it'll just working through it with them.
No, it sounds perfect. And as well, you're speaking. I saw you doing some speaking.
Yeah. Yes, I take my wire speaker now, because I've spoken at an event.
Seriously, how was it? How did that come about?
Oh, absolutely amazing. So a friend of mine actually put me forward for the opportunity, and even when she told me about it, I was just like, how can I go and speak to 150 women? Like, who am I? But it was such an amazing session. Like, it was 157 women in total from all around the world, like speaking about, my story, and like there's 10 steps to debt freedom, like I spoke about. And that's kind of what made me think, oh yeah, actually I could do this to another group of people. But yeah, so that's what I did. And I basically talked through those steps, and the feedback was phenomenal. And I was like, okay, like this thing that I'm doing actually is having an impact, and it is relevant to people. Because I think what happens some of the time is that, you know, when you've been doing something for so long, you just think, oh, everyone knows this, but everyone doesn't know it. So yeah.
This is the thing, and I think I was talking to Timmy, Mr. Money Jar, about it. So we're doing events together, and we often say this, and we keep saying it. It's like, you tell someone something or you mention something, they're like, what is that? And you're like, oh, it's and you're like, it's nothing, it's just this. And they're like, really? Oh my gosh, that will change my life. Oh, okay, yeah. Clearly, because I thought everybody knew this stuff, and it just confirms that there's so much work to do.
Exactly.
Like, finance educators, there's so many people that still need help in so many areas, and you and your experience, me and my experience, Timmy, etc., you can't stop.
No, it's 100%. And I think that's what this 1 month of coaching that I've done so far is showing me, like, people really do need help with their finances, and there's not enough of us at the moment that are doing it. So it's like, the more the merrier. It's not even one of those things where it's like, no, you're doing it, so I can't work with you, or I can't talk to you. It's like, no.
And it's funny because same as you, like media and coaching, I didn't start this page to do coaching at all. I started it just because I've been sharing finance knowledge for the last 20 years. And it's like, okay, let me just do it on Instagram, because then it will reach more people. And same as you, people were like, do you do coaching? I'm like, no, but I'll do a little session. But now I've like made it official, because I'm like, actually, people need it.
Exactly.
And same with your speaking. And so
on the new year, definitely. So if you want to come and speak at your event, let me know.
100%. But with the coaching thing, and you saying there's not many people doing it, or even that there are people doing it. So I'm doing it, you're doing it, Timmy does it, Pete does it. So many people do it, but we're all different. And someone who resonates with you might not resonate with me, and vice versa. So I've had coaching clients come to me for services, and actually I'm like, maybe you're not right for me. As much as they said, this is my offer, actually, let me refer them to somebody else, because that would work better for you.
Exactly.
How it should be. Why not? If we're focused on helping people with their finances in whatever means possible, then put them in the right place. If it's not for you,
100%. Because that would be in my area that I focus more on is debt repayment plans. And when I say debt repayment plans, it's not for somebody that's crippled by debt and they have no means of paying it. It's more people that the money's there, but you just aren't managing it well. So it's exactly, you're not making sense of it. And budgeting, those are the kind of areas that I want to focus on more. Investing, that one is still uncharted territory for me. So I don't really want to now advise people on how to invest and stuff like that. So any of those kind of questions that come to me, I refer them on as well, because it's like, I'm not just going to blag it and be like, oh yeah, no way, I can help you. Come.
It doesn't, you're doing them a disservice.
Exactly, that's it.
Yeah, and same here. Like, I'd love to get into investing, and I knew about it from before, but I haven't focused. I'm like, I will one day. It's not my specialty, and that's fine. I'm
Exactly.
that. But then on the speaking stuff, and I think, you know, as you continue doing it, and especially when you start doing it face to face, what I find is after I've done speaking events like last year and stuff, people come up to you and they're so happy, and they're like, thank you so much. I'm going to go and try and do this. I'm going to do that. And it fills you with so much warmth, because it's like, this is why I did it.
Listen,
you know, all those nerves and fears you had before, no, forget that. That's unimportant. It's not about me. It's about those people that I'm helping.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, Krystle, that's literally it. That's exactly what you're saying now is how I felt on Saturday. Because before I switched on that computer, mate, I was dying. I was like, Tolu, who sent you to go and do this? Why are you doing this? But afterwards, like, the impact that it had on those women and the messages that I was receiving and the DMs and all the emails and stuff, I was like, oh wow, like, yeah, this is mad. Like, I actually feel like I'm doing what I was called to do. It's just amazing to be able to give that back to people and give them that hope and stuff. So no, it was amazing. Like, it was literally the greatest experience ever. I was like, oh my god. And it's so funny, yeah, because I got a message afterwards from a friend, and he was just like, Tolly, you're giving speeches. You're the same one that couldn't even give a speech at your friend's wedding. And that was literally me. Like, they gave me the mic to give a speech, and I crumbled. I was like, I had no words. But I think because it comes from a place of passion, it was just like, no, I can't sit on this message. It's not fair. Like, people need to hear it, kind of thing.
Yeah, they do. And as you continue to do it, you'll get braver, prouder, you know, less uncomfortable, because you're like, actually, I know I'm helping you. So listen to me. If anything, listen to me, because I'm giving you something that's going to be so useful and change your life. So yeah.
How long have you been speaking for?
I started, I think the first one I was invited to was last year. Yeah, I think it was the beginning of last year. Was it last year or this year? Let me think. Hold on. That was, I think it was the beginning of last year, and I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. No, I'm not doing this. No way. And as I've continued and done more and more and more, just like you get more confident. Now it's like, I know what I'm talking about. I've said this before. And even if it's an area that I'm not overly confident about, I'll do my research, make sure I'm up to speed, you know, in line with what my space is.
Yes.
And if anything, I need some water. If there's something that I don't know, or it's something that I don't know, that's fine. I'm not gonna do. Like, just say that. Either say, I'll get back to you, I'll find out, or that's not my area of speciality, I'll pass you on to somebody who knows about it.
Yes.
And that's okay.
And that's fine.
And even as a coach, you know, the same thing happens. If someone wants to know about a certain area, I can go find out for you, or I can refer you on. And I think before, that's scary. What? I don't know something. Oh my God, you know, this imposter stuff. But no, it's not about that. It's about you're helping people, and you just continue to evolve. So very excited for you. So going forward, are you going to focus on this stuff completely? Are you going to get a full-time job, or are you going to stay?
No, I'm not going back to be insulted again. No, never say never. I never say never, actually, because there's parts of my job that I did enjoy. So if the right opportunity comes up, I won't say that I won't do it. And something else that I've considered doing, actually, just today, was Amazon Flex. Is that what it's called? The delivery driver. I was like, oh, maybe I could do those shifts in the evening to make some extra money when the kids go to bed. Yeah,
extra change. Do it. Why not?
No, I'm definitely considering it strongly. But I don't know if I'll go back to a full-time job, because I feel like this is what I need to be doing. So I just need to focus on doing it. I think I'm in a fortunate position in that my husband is able to cover the bills, because if he wasn't in that position, then I wouldn't have no choice but to find a job. But I feel like because I have this opportunity, I'm like, let me try it with both hands. So 2021, I want to be doing it full-time, self-employed. But yeah, 2022, I might be back to getting a job if it doesn't go according to plan. But hopefully not. That's what I'm going to do.
No, put the energy in the right place. This is what you're going to do. This is you. Just focus.
Yes. No, this is me. This is what I'm going to do. I'm Tolly, and I'm a money coach.
Right. So before we go, could you give maybe somebody, because I know your main audience is mothers, and trying to get out of debt. So if somebody's in that position, they haven't maybe heard of you, or they are in debt, what would the first bit of advice that you'd give them? What would you say, as in, you know, to look at their debt or get started on that journey?
To get started on a journey, I think it's just not run from it anymore. because I think a lot of the times we just want to hide away from the reality of our situation. But I feel like just face it head on. Like, you need to face that, confront that demon. So don't run from it. Just acknowledge it and say, okay, I've done this. Forgive yourself for that mistake as well. Because I think a lot of times we can be very critical of ourselves, especially as mothers. We always just think we're failures. And it's like, no, you haven't failed. Like, yes, you've made a mistake. Yes, you've messed up. But your debt doesn't define you. I always say that. It's like that. Yes, you have debt, but you are not debt, if that makes sense. So don't think that that has any kind of indication on your worth or your value as a mother or as a woman, kind of thing. So it's like really trying to get you to separate that from, okay, yes, this is what I did, but that's not who I am, kind of thing. So yeah, so I think that would be the first steps, is really just working on you first, and then it's like, okay, now I need a plan. Like, what am I going to do? What steps can I take to get there? And then that's what the coaching kind of does for you. It's like working with you to kind of get a plan towards working on your way to get out of debt.
I love it. Thank you. And where can people find you? Is it best to find you on Instagram? I know you've got a website.
Yes, off my website. Yeah, don't go on there. I need to rebrand it. But, you know, you can go on there. It works. It works. But no, Instagram, I think, is the most better representation of my brand and what I do, kind of thing. So yeah, Instagram, you'll find me on there. I'm trying to do those stories more. I see you're doing it a lot more now as well. But I just really, as much as I'm talking now, yeah, when it comes to that, just talking on stories, I can't do it. Like, just really can't. Yeah, it's hard. It's very hard.
Me and my sister had this as well, but once you start, it'll be fine. You just got to force yourself into it. I think in the beginning I was like, I have to have something really mapped out, really special. It's like, I'm going to share this useful gem, I'm just going to share it. Do it, do more, and then you'll just feel comfortable. And I find it interesting. And I do more of it because it's easier than creating a post.
That is true. That is true, actually. It probably would be less time consuming. Like, just turn on the camera and start talking. Like, yeah, guys, but yeah, I'm trying to work my way up to that. Even the reels and stuff. Yes, yeah, social a lot.
That's the thing.
Yeah, no, the reels, definitely jump on it. Although even saying that now, I think now we've missed the wave a little bit because it was like, it's old news. But still try reels. Get a couple on there because that's the thing Instagram's pushing at the moment.
Yes, I know. Tolu, it's been amazing having you.
That was funny. I could literally talk for England. I could go on talking for the next half an hour. But no, how long have we been on for, actually?
Just half an hour. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yes, you've been great. Everyone, you know where to find her. Check out her Instagram here.
Yes.
And obviously,
and my YouTube channel. Sorry, check me out on YouTube, guys. Go and subscribe. Tolu on YouTube.
Yes. Subscribe, follow. You've been amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me, Krystle. It's been a pleasure.
Bye, darling.
Bye.